channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Rorisang Mabogoane, and if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. It's great to have you in my little corner of YouTube where we speak all things adulting, faith, career development, personal development, lifestyle, the works. Anything and everything that is relevant for us to navigate our young adult lives. Before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button. That red button better turn gray. Guys. Give this video a massive thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Comment down below what you enjoyed about today's video and what other videos you'd like to see. Share this with anybody and everybody who you think might need it. And last but not least, hit those notification bells so that you do not miss another video. So without wasting any more time, let us get straight into today's video. So we're back again with another sit down. Like I said at the beginning of this year, we're going to have a lot of sit downs this year. We're learning a lot this year. We're properly being intentional about improving each and every facet of our lives. Today's video is about money goals or financial goals that you want to focus on in your 20s before you hit that 30-year mark. Now, your 20s are that defining decade, that decade where you can lay the foundation for your financial freedom as well as the financial success of your life. And literally the decisions you make this year, in this decade will define how your life turns out from a financial point of view in the years to come. When you reach your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 100s, because we are asking God for long life in Jesus' name. So today's video is all about that. The financial goals that you need to focus on hitting within your 20s before you hit that 30-year mark. Now, if you're watching this and you're over 30, do not be discouraged. It's never too late to start. All I can encourage you to do is to start today. Start at this moment. Start with what you have, because if you delay any further, there will be negative repercussions for that. The first goal that you want to focus on is building an emergency fund. I have a really old video on emergency funds, and I should probably record an updated one. So please let me know in the comment section down below if you want an updated video on emergency funds. But building an emergency fund is crucial. And this is because, guys, life happens. We lose our jobs. You need to repair the car. Your geyser bursts. Listen, something always happens, and you don't want to find yourself getting into debt to face or to fix whatever life throws at you. You don't want to find yourself swiping your credit card and getting into more bad debt if you have an emergency fund readily available. So your emergency fund empowers you to face whatever life throws at you, whether it is a job loss, whether it is a retrenchment, whether it is a geyser bursting, whether it is a break-in if you don't have home insurance, whether it is, having to fix something in the house, whether it is having to fix something with your car, whatever that is, it constitutes as an emergency if it wasn't something that is planned. Guys, a car service is not an emergency. You knew it was coming a year ago. You knew that you had to, you understand? So it's not an emergency. A car repair, though, is an emergency. If you get into a car crash and you have to pay excess, that is an emergency because it's not something you can plan for. But an emergency fund is something that you need to focus on building. This can be very daunting because an emergency fund is usually 1 to 3 months of your expenses. So for someone in their 20s, that can range between 30,000 and 60,000 rand. When I say it like that, it does sound a lot. It's very daunting, even to me. That's a lot of money, right? But start small. That 500 rand a month makes a hell of a difference. That 1,000 rand a month makes a hell of a difference. It doesn't have to start with a massive lump sum, because sometimes we don't have that money at our disposal. So start with what you have. And that's why I opened with that statement at the beginning of the video to say, start with what you have. That 500 rand, that 600 rand, every month can make a massive difference and help you build an emergency fund. Yes, you might not be able to build it within a year, but definitely over a couple of years, you can definitely get to that point where you have 3 months worth of money that you spend, or 3 months worth of expenses that you spend on a month-to-month basis, saved up for whatever may come your way when life decides to life, because it likes lifing. You know what I'm saying? So like I mentioned, start small, but also consider high yield savings accounts. If you want me to do a video on high yield savings accounts, please do let me know, and we can delve into the different high yield savings accounts that are out there in the market, as well as what their requirements are. But high yield savings accounts will help you earn interest much faster on whatever deposits you're making on a monthly basis. High yield basically means higher interest, and obviously this comes with higher risk as well. Higher interest means higher risk, but that is also a conversation for another day. But definitely consider high yield savings accounts when it comes to emergency funds, so that you can gain more interest on that money at a faster rate. The third thing that you want to focus on when it comes to building an emergency fund is automating your savings. Now, one thing about us as human beings, we will make excuses. We will make excuses. So automate your savings so that you can run away from making excuses. Use it, or think of saving for an emergency fund as a bill. Think of it as your rent, think of it as a car installment, think of it as your insurance, whatever it is. Automate that expense, automate that saving. Because if you, guys, it's easy to say, yeah, I'll pay it after my debit orders come out. After your debit orders come out, you've seen a pair of sneakers that you like, you've seen a dress that you like, you want to take yourself out for fine dining, you understand what I'm saying? So automate those savings so that it feels like an expense that goes out with all your other debit orders at the end of the month. The second goal that you want to think about is investing early and investing often. The reason I say this is because the power of compound interest is real. So the earlier you save, the more time your money has to grow. The more time your money has to earn more interest. The more time your money has to yield bigger or greater returns for you. So compound interest is something that you need to take into consideration. The earlier you start investing, the earlier you'll start seeing more returns, but also the more returns you'll have at the end of your life when you actually need to tap into those funds. Compound interest is powerful, guys. So if you're going to sleep on it, I don't know how to help you. I really don't know how to help you. To add on to this point, you can explore different investment options such as stocks, ETFs, property, retirement funds. This would be pension or retirement annuity funds. These are different retirement or rather investment options that you can look into if you're looking to invest or looking to build your investment portfolio. Remember to invest in stocks and companies that you understand. Remember to invest in investment vehicles that you understand. Know how they work so that you can make more decisive or more solid decisions when it comes to investing, and also so that you can make more informed decisions when it comes to the investment vehicles that you choose to build your wealth in. Another thing that you can consider when it comes to investing early and investing often is getting in touch with a financial advisor. I thank God for my financial advisor, because they have helped me make sure that I structured my investments in a particular way. But not only that, but they help me think about things that I need to think about for the future. Things like income protection, things like retirement annuities. All of those I would not have thought of if my financial advisor hadn't recommended them. And now I have those things up and running because my financial advisor has helped me structure my finances and my investments in a way that works for me at this current phase of my life. But my financial advisor has been pivotal in some of the things that I have started investing in at a younger age, and investing in that will help me yield greater returns in the future. The last thing that I want to touch on under this topic of investing early and investing often is maxing out your tax-free savings if you are able to. I'm saying if you're able to because sometimes we aren't all able to invest or save at the same rate, right? We might all be in our 20s, but we are all earning differently, and we all have different responsibilities as well. Some of us of us have kids, some of us are married, some of us have to still help out at home. So your investing abilities will differ even if you guys are in the same age group, right? So if you're able to max out your tax-free savings account, do so. Right now in South Africa, the range or the limit is 36,000 Rand a year. If you can get to that on an annual basis, do that. But if you want a whole different video on tax-free savings, do let me know and I can break that down. But listen, leverage anything that will help you run away from tax or paying taxes, because SARS wants your money, guys. SARS wants your money. So your tax-free savings account helps you save and invest invest because it's a long-term savings or long-term investment vehicle. It helps you invest without having to pay the tax man. Because like I said, the tax man is after your money. So this helps you legally be able to avoid paying taxes on your investments. The third goal that you want to focus on in your 20s is mastering your budget. Your budget is your roadmap to financial success. It is a tool that helps you track your income and expenses, as well as identify areas of improvement when it comes to your finances. It helps you stay on top of your finances and know where all your coins are going. If you do not have a budget, you are setting yourself up for failure. If you haven't watched the video that I put out recently about budgeting and how to set up your budget, definitely do have a look at it. I'll link it down below or tag it in the cards up here, one of the two. Do have a look at it after you've finished watching this video, so that you can learn more about the nitty-gritties of budgeting. Tips when it comes to mastering your budget are using budgeting tools. This for me is 22 Vault or Vault 22. I mix it around. It used to be 22/7, but Vault 22 helps me manage my expenses as well as manage my income as well as track my expenses. I'm literally able to see where everything is in one place. Another thing I also use, which is a bit more simpler as well, is just a simple spreadsheet on Excel where you write down your income, you write down your expenses, you write down everything that you're going to spend, what you're going to save, and then you know what you're left with at the end of the month. And I use the zero-based budgeting method where I know that every cent needs to go somewhere. Literally every cent needs to go somewhere. But using budgeting tools like that will help you be able to have a view of how much you're spending on your subscriptions, on eating out, on your fuel, on your rent, on everything. Another thing is finding a budgeting method that works for you. In the previous budgeting video that I released, I spoke about the budgeting approach that I use, which is the 50-30-20 rule, where 50% of my income goes to my needs, 30% of my income goes to my wants, and 20% of my income goes to my savings as well as my debt repayments. You want to focus on finding a budgeting tool that works for you. Some people use the 60-30-10 rule. Some people use the 80-10-10 rule. Whatever rule works for you, use that. Some people use, like I said, the 60-20-20 rule, whatever it is, whatever balance works for you, use that and stick to it. Keep, guys, consistency. Stick to it. Don't use one this month, next month, because you feel like eating out more, then no, that's not how life works. So for me, the 50-30-20 rule works, where 50% of my income goes to my needs, 30% of my income to my wants, and 20% of my income to my savings and debt repayments. One last thing that I want to highlight when it comes to mastering your budget is reviewing and adjusting your budget regularly. Guys, when you actually review your budget, you're able to see what you spend a lot of money on. I won't delve into this a lot because I spoke about it a lot in the previous budgeting video, but you're able to see that, hey, I spend a lot of money on coffee every day. Hey, I spend a lot of money on fuel this month. What did I do differently? Did I go home? Did I go see my grandmother's? Why did I spend more on fuel this month? I spent more on clothes this month. Are we approaching winter? Did I make impulsive spending decisions? What does that look like? So reviewing and adjusting your budget allows you to see those spending habits as well as track them accordingly, see where you're going right and see where you're going wrong. The fourth goal that you want to focus on in your 20s is conquering your debt. Now, debt really has a negative impact on your financial freedom. I say that because even from a cash flow perspective, you really are limited if you have a lot of debt. I say that because when your income comes in, it already has a place that it needs to go. It already has a debit order that it needs to go to. It already has a credit card repayment that it needs to go to. It has a whatever, personal loan that it needs to go to. Whatever the case is, when you have a lot of debt, you can't be free with the money that you have because every month you can't be excited when you get paid because your money has somewhere to go. A clothing account that it needs to go to. Personally, I've never had a clothing account in my life. A credit card, a personal loan, a home loan, whatever the case is, a what do they call it? A cell phone contract. It has a place to go. So your money already is gone before it even comes in. So if you can manage your debt accordingly, you are already 5-10 steps ahead. One thing I want to highlight here is prioritizing high interest debt. For example, paying off your credit card debt first, paying off your personal loan first, paying off your car loan first. Those are high interest debts. Then you can start looking at trying to finish paying off your house faster. High interest debt is where you need to start focusing on first. Create a debt repayment plan and stick to it. You can choose to either use the snowball method or you can use the avalanche method. These are two different approaches that you can use when it comes to repaying your debt, as well as structuring your debt repayment plan accordingly. Do some research on this, and if you want a video on it, I'm happy to do one explaining what these different debt repayment methods are. I'm really happy to do that or share that insight with you guys and share that knowledge. But choose a debt repayment plan and stick to it. Whether it's the snowball method, whether it's the avalanche method, or whether it's another method of your liking that works for you. Like I always say, your financial journey is personal. So just because the next person is using the snowball method doesn't mean that you need to use the snowball method. Use what works for you. Use the method that works for you. Your financial journey is very personal, but nonetheless, I digress. That wasn't supposed to rhyme, by the way, but nonetheless, let's head on to the next goal that you need to focus on, and the final goal for this video that you need to focus on when it comes to your financial goals to strive for in your 20s. The fifth goal that you want to focus on is prioritizing experiences as well as financial wellness, because money is a tool and it's not an end goal. Money is something that you can leverage to experience certain things in your life, not necessarily an end goal. What I mean by this, for example, saving for experiences, save for your travels, save for your entertainment, save for your fine dining, save for experiences that you want to have or want to experience, or experiences that are on your bucket list. Save for those experiences. Use money as a tool for you to be able to experience some of these experiences. I feel like I use the word experience a lot there, but use money as that tool. Save. You might be able to say, this year I want to go to Paris in December. Use money as a tool. How much do I need? I need to pay for a flight, I need to pay for a visa, I need to pay for spending money, I need to pay for accommodation, I need to pay for meals. Break down a budget. TikTok has a lot of people who actually do these breakdowns for you. But have a budget, break it down, and over the next 12 months, 11 months, or 10 months, you're able to say, I need to save this much towards my a big trip at the end of the year. So save for your travels. Please don't be an impulsive spender. Please save for your travels. Don't just say, yeah, tomorrow I'm going to Cape Town. If you don't have that money, and then you find yourself dipping into your credit card, which we're trying to pay off. Counterintuitive, no? But anyway, so save for those experiences. Invest in your personal development. By this, I mean invest in courses, invest in books, invest in workshops and masterclasses, invest in time with a financial advisor or a financial coach, invest in financial tools. For example, Jen Ngumalo on Instagram and here on YouTube, she has a financial diary that she uses. This is not sponsored in any way, but she has a financial diary that she sells because she's been using it and it's been working for her, and she's reached millionaire status. Like, she's reached millionaire status, and it was because of the help of the diary that she uses. And by that, you're able to invest in your financial future. You're able to invest in tools that will help you reach the financial freedom and the financial goals that you want to reach. The last thing that I want to touch on when it comes to this point is practice mindful spending. One thing that I struggled with when I first started my financial journey was impulsive spending. If I felt under the weather for any reason, or if I wasn't in a good mood, I automatically went to an online shopping platform and bought myself whatever, clothes, shoes, whatever it is. So I booked to have a whole makeover done, or I went to an expensive restaurant just to make myself feel better. Practice mindful spending. If there's food at home, like, I've reached that point, guys. If there's food at home, where are you going outside? If you have clothes in the wardrobe, where are you going? To the shops. Unless if you need to really replace those things. Sometimes, or what I do now, I sleep on a purchase. If I really, really want something, I sleep on it. If I still want it tomorrow and I can explain to myself, Rory, you're going to use it for A, B, C, D, then I can buy it. If I'm going to see it now, oh, it looks cute, and buy it now, that was a very impulsive decision. So I sleep on my purchases. Sometimes I sleep on them for months. And sometimes I sleep on them for months because I'm actually saving for them. There's a lot of things, for example, that I want to do around my house. I'm saving for those things. It's not that I don't have the money in my account now, but if I swipe that money now, then it sets me back for other things that I need to do throughout the rest of the month. So practice mindful spending. In closing, this wasn't part of my notes, but learn to live below your means. And this, you'll have good months and you'll have bad months. But learning to live below your means will help you have extra disposable income that you can take towards your savings and your investments. If you don't need that car right now, don't buy it. One thing I always say to my mom is, the conversation I always say to her when I'm speaking about some things that I want or some things that I want to spend my money on is needs versus wants. Do you need it? Is it a priority now, or is it a want? Do you want those Air Forces, or do you need them? Can you live without them? Yes, I can live without them. Do you want them? Okay, if you want them, save for a few months and buy them. So needs versus wants. Do you need that coffee every day? No, you want it. You can make coffee at home. Do you need the latest car? No, you don't. You can use the car that you have right now as long as it's not giving you problems, or as long as the maintaining of it is not more expensive than what a car installment on a new car would be. Evaluate your needs versus wants, and that will help you then live below your means. You really do not need to, I've said this before on this channel, you don't need to be living in the most expensive area, driving the most expensive car, wearing the most expensive shoes. All of these Galaxy Boys and the Gucci's and the Michael Kors, they're beautiful. Save for them accordingly. If you can't afford it, Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. Don't keep up with the Joneses. They don't know you exist. Genuinely, they don't. So make sure you try and strive to have as much disposable income as possible. And that means prioritizing needs versus wants, as well as living below your means. So with that, we've reached the end of today's video. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and share this with anybody and everybody who you think might need it. Please do comment down below other financial goals that you think are important to strive for in your 20s. I did not share the whole list because we would have been here for hours, because there's a lot that people need to strive for and focus on in their 20s. So do share down below. What else are you focusing on in your 20s from a financial point of view? And with that, with so much love and so much light from me to you, have an incredible rest of the day. Stay safe and God bless. Bye, guys.